Greetings, my name is Ogyaba of Change Africa Movement. You see this Prophet Ogyaba's sexual scandal with his side chick trending all over the place, right from the beginning of somewhere ending of last week up to date. That should tell us something. We heard the lady's side of the story, and a lot of people jumped into conclusion and started blaming the prophets, blaming him and condemning him, and cursing him and saying all sort of things about him. The question is it fair? People heard just the side of the lady. They never gave the prophets a chance to tell his side of the story, but they went ahead to blame him, condemn him, and whatever. Why do you do that? You've not given him a hearing. Somebody has accused the prophet. You've not given the prophet a hearing, and yet you go ahead to condemn him and curse him and spread the news everywhere and make him feel so guilty and make him guilty by force. Is it fair? When they do that to you, will you be happy? That is a breach of the principle of natural justice in law. The principle of natural justice, the basic one, which is, audiotherum pattern, says when somebody is accused, you have to offer the person a chance to defend him or herself, to come up with his or her side of the story before you can, reach a conclusion, before you can pass a judgment. Did we do that in the case of the prophet? No. Why? Anyway, this is a sign and a caution to the prophet Ogyaba. This is not the first issue, the first sexual scandal issue about you. There have been a lot in the past, and it's time you sat up, and check yourself. Control your libido, control your emotions, control your sexual desires. It's too much. You understand? Control it. But to condemn him by believing what the lady said, the side chick said about him, by believing it, ab initio, that it is the fact and nothing but the fact, will be a crime against, the prophets and any other person who this is done to. But I think the prophet also has himself to blame. Why? Because he is the same person and one of the people, religious people, who go on rampage preaching against Satan, shouting and putting fire and shooting and stabbing and killing Satan all the time and cursing him, and has painted Satan to be so evil all the time of their ministry's life. Why? Because a book called the Bible has written and stated, or a God has stated that, or has said something about somebody called Satan, and the God said, or the Bible said, that person is evil, Satan is evil, he has done this and that, and has condemned him and painted him so evil. And we have all come to believe this story of the Bible, and we go about using it, and we've been hating Satan right from day one, right from Adam up to today, praying against him, shouting at him, condemning him, and attributing all evils to him, when we have never given him the opportunity to defend himself. Have you heard Satan's side of the story before? Did God give Satan a chance to defend himself, to come up with a side of the story? No. Now, if the devil or the snake entered the garden to deceive Eve, as the Bible is saying, when God came and asked, God gave Adam a hearing, and he asked Adam, where are you? Adam says, I am hiding, I am naked. And he says, why? Did you eat from the tree I told you not to eat from? And he says, yes, but it's not my fault. It is the woman you gave me. Then God left Adam, and went to the woman and asked the woman, why did you do that? God gave the woman a hearing to defend herself. The woman said, God, it is not me. It is the snake who came to deceive me. What do you think? A just God. A just God. What do you think he was supposed to have done? Since he has given hearing to Adam and has given hearing to Eve or Hawa in the garden, why didn't he give hearing to the snake as well? Because it could be that Eve was lying about the snake. And up to the God didn't give Satan or the devil or the snake a hearing. God never gave him a hearing. But immediately the woman said it, God believed it and started cursing all of them and cursed the snake that it will crawl on its belly for the rest of its life. When God, you have never heard, you didn't give the snake opportunity to defend itself, to tell its side of the story. And you went ahead to curse the snake. That is a bad judgment. And God set that precedent in the Bible. And that is why a lot of Christians or almost all religious people have become so judgmental. They hear one side of the story and they hook onto it and paint the other person so black, so evil, without hearing the side of that person. They don't care, because God started that in the Garden of Eden. When the woman said it was the snake that deceived her, God should have given the snake a hearing. That is but God didn't do that and went ahead to curse the snake. Trust me, that is a grave injustice against the snake. Grave injustice. God breached his own natural, the principle of natural justice. God breached it. It is just like you being accused of doing something wrong, and then somebody goes to court to sue you. As soon as you got to the courtroom, the judge didn't listen to you. He didn't hear you. He didn't even give you opportunity to mention your name. He didn't even give you opportunity to talk, but he sentenced you to 5 years imprisonment. How will you feel? How would the world feel about that judge? What will be said about that judge? Will it be justice? Will you call that justice? Will you be happy with it? Would that be defendable? Everybody will condemn that judge, and people will go on an appeal. Okay? So, the same thing. God didn't give the snake a hearing, but condemned the snake to eternal punishment. Who does that? What kind of justice is this? What kind of just God is this? This cannot be a God. This cannot be a just God, unless the people who wrote that book made a mistake. Then fine. But if they didn't make a mistake, then that thing right from Genesis, what happened in the Garden of Eden, is an evil thing. And that makes God a fallible God. That makes God, not all-knowing. Then God is not all-knowing. He's not just God. Okay? The same thing is what is happening. So from that time up to now, the world keep blaming Satan, keep blaming the devil, and always praying against the devil, and the devil this, the devil that. So the devil has become so, come on, there's nothing good, as if there's nothing good about the devil. Meanwhile, you and I have never met the devil. You and I have never met Satan. You and I have never heard the side of Satan. The Bible and the religious book are only one-sided stories. They never allow the person they are accusing. In all the religious books, they never allow the person they are accusing to come up with their side of the story. It's only one-sided, and we all hook up to it, to that one-sided story, and start condemning the person they are claiming to be evil. That is so bad of all of us. That is evil, and that is what makes religion fictitious. Religion, that makes it fake. That makes religion a scam. Think about it. So, Prophet Ogyaba, if people are doing that to you now, it is the same thing you have been doing to Satan that people are doing to you. You've been condemning Satan right from beginning up to date. Meanwhile, you've never met Satan. You've never heard his side of the story. It is only what you read in the book, which is one-sided story in the Bible, that you believe and have been condemning him up to date. It is about time you went to your church and told them that story in the Bible is fictitious, is fake, and God made a mistake. God must give Satan a hearing, so that you will also be given a hearing. Thank you. This is Change Africa Movement. Follow us on YouTube channel, Change Africa Movement. We love you.